Hi students, I'm Dr. Bhavna. In this lecture we are going to deal about chemical coordination and integration. So in the chemical coordination last part we have dealt about the numerous hormones, that is endocrine glands. Endocrine glands produce numerous hormones. These hormones are non-nutrient chemicals. They are like chemicals. They act at distant parts of the body. Like where they will act, suppose they are originated in one place, they move to other place and they will act. Along with our neural system, this endocrine system also play a very important role in this coordination mechanism. So, in this chemical coordination and integration, these endocrine glands, these lack ducts. So, they are called as ductless glands. These along with neural system play a very important role. And these hormones mainly, they are secreted by so many endocrine glands. Already half of the glands we have dealt in part 1. Now in part 2, we will deal about rest of the other glands which are necessary. First, the main gland is pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. This pituitary gland is present in sella turcica, that is present in the brain. It is a bony cavity. This pituitary gland is present in a bony cavity called as sella turcica. So in this sella turcica, it is attached to hypothalamus by a stalk. See, suppose this is a hypothalamus. This pituitary gland is attached to hypothalamus by a stalk. And the pituitary gland is anatomically divided into adenohypophysis as well as neurohypophysis. By name only we can understand adenohypophysis as well as neurohypophysis. Adenohypophysis, hypothalamus type. Here neurohypophysis. Adenohypophysis is in turn divided into pars distalis as well as pars intermedia. Whereas neurohypophysis is divided into pars distalis, pars intermedia as well as here pars nervosa. So first, initially about pituitary gland we are going to deal. In pituitary gland, it is located in a bony cavity called as sella turcica that is present in the brain. So it is attached to hypothalamus. Already in the last class we have dealt about the hypothalamus and what are the hormones secreted by it. So it is attached to hypothalamus by a structure called as stalk. So pituitary gland is again divided into adenohypophysis as well as neurohypophysis. Adenohypophysis is in turn divided into pars distalis as well as pars intermedia. These names are very important because so many times in NEET they will ask these questions. Next, about neurohypophysis, it is again divided into pars nervosa. And what are the hormones secreted by each of this, we will deal in detail. So initially this pars distalis, it will secrete hormones called as, we all know about these hormones, that is first one is growth hormone. It will secrete the hormone known as growth hormone which help in our growth. Growth hormone. Next prolactin. Next thyroid stimulating hormone, that is thyroid hormones. Next, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Adrenocorticotropic hormone means by name only we can understand that cortical hormones are secreted by it. Next, the hormone that is secreted by pars distalis is growth hormone, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Next, luteinizing hormone as well as FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Luteinizing hormone, we will deal about that. So these are the main hormones which are secreted by this pars distalis. When it comes to pars intermedia, that is second part of adenohypophysis, it secretes a hormone known as MSH, that is melanocyte stimulating hormone. It helps in secretion of melanocytes. So it is called melanocyte stimulating hormone. Next hormone is pars nervosa. Pars nervosa will secrete two hormones, that is oxytocin as well as vasopressin. Oxytocin, vasopressin. So these are the main hormones which are secreted by the pituitary gland. You all should remember now, because here they'll ask pars intermedia will secrete which hormone in it. Only pars intermedia, the middle one, it will secrete only one hormone, that is called as melanocyte stimulating hormone. When it comes to pars nervosa, last one, it secretes two hormones, that is oxytocin as well as vasopressin. When it comes to pars distalis, it will only secrete numerous hormones. These two will come under adenohypophysis. Pituitary gland is divided into two, adenohypophysis, neurohypophysis. Pars distalis as well as pars intermedia will come under adenohypophysis. When it comes to pars nervosa, it will come under neurohypophysis. So pars distalis also, it will secrete numerous hormones like growth hormone, prolactin, next ACTH, that is adrenocorticotropic, next thyroid stimulating, as well as FSH as well as LH, that is luteinizing hormone as well as FSH. Now we will go in detail about these hormones mainly. We will go in detail. So first we have seen about growth hormone mainly. In growth hormone, if there is excess of secretion of growth hormone, it leads to gigantism. Gigantism. If there is very lesser, then it leads to dwarfism. If excess secretion of growth hormone take place, the person will become so tall, he will become very fat, that is fully called as gigantism. If we all know, in small children we have read about stories related to that. Next, dwarfism means what? If there is very less secretion of this growth hormone, then it leads to dwarfism. The people will be born very short, as well as they become very thin. This all is related to dwarfism. Gigantism as well as dwarfism. The next thing which comes is acromegaly. These two by birth only we will know gigantism. But after we become adults, then if there is excess of secretion of growth hormone, then it leads to acromegaly. Acromegaly. In acromegaly also, there will be long limbs will be there. Limbs means hands and legs will be very long, and he'll be very much tall. Everything is acromegaly. Gigantism as well as dwarfism, that is mainly if there is excess of secretion of growth hormone as well as less secretion of growth hormone in childhood. When it comes to acromegaly, there is excess of secretion of growth hormone during adult. Then it comes to acromegaly. Next comes is prolactin. Prolactin means it helps in growth of mammary glands, that is secretion of milk in females. Mammary glands, they play an important role on mammary glands. Next, thyroid stimulating hormone. They help in secretion of thyroid. By name only we can understand. Thyroid means what mainly? See, thyroid stimulating hormone, if there is excess of secretion of thyroid hormone, it leads to hyperthyroidism. If there is very less, if it is secreted, then it leads to hypothyroidism. if there is very less. So hyperthyroidism as well as hypothyroidism. When it comes to adrenocorticotropic hormone, if there is excess secretion of adrenocorticotropic hormone, it helps in secretion of glucocorticoids. Glucocorticoids, these play a very important role in what they will play. Mainly glucocorticoids is they help in carbohydrate metabolism. In our body, carbohydrate metabolism, fat as well as protein metabolism should take place. If there is carbohydrate metabolism, then it is aided by adrenocorticotropic hormone. So this hormone helps in secretion of glucocorticoids. These glucocorticoids play an important role in secretion of, that is, carbohydrate metabolism. Okay. Next, LH as well as FSH. LH as well as FSH, luteinizing hormone. This hormone will act differently in male as well as females. FSH also, it acts differently in males and females. Suppose LH in males, it secretes a hormone called as androgens. They secrete androgens in males. So what these androgens will do? They will help in the male all organs development, as well as it will play a very important role in the male voice as well as everything. These androgens will play a very important role. So this is mainly secreted by luteinizing hormone, that is LH in males. Whereas in females, it will induce ovulation process. Simply important neat question, you all should know about this, because in males, how will LH act, they'll ask. So it will help in secretion of androgens, whereas in females, it play an important role in ovulation. When it comes to FSH, it will also act in males as well as females. When it acts in males, FSH, it promotes spermatogenesis, means they help in secretion of sperms. They play a very important role in spermatogenesis. Whereas in females, what will happen in FSH? FSH here, LH will induce ovulation, whereas FSH will help in growth and development of the ovarian follicles. It helps in growth as well as development of ovarian follicles. So simply no need to get confused about all these hormones. Simply for one hormone, you remember what is that function. By name only mostly you can understand. What are the hormones secreted by which part, that is mainly important. But normally you can understand by this. Suppose growth hormones means if there is excess, it leads to gigantism. If it is very less, it leads to dwarfism. In adult, if there is excess of secretion of growth hormone, it leads to acromegaly. When it comes to prolactin, it helps in growth of memory glands, that is prolactin, memory glands. They help in secretion of milk in females, this prolactin. Whereas thyroid stimulating hormone, they help in secretion of thyroid hormones. That is, if there is excess, it will lead to hyperthyroidism. If it is very less, it leads to hypothyroidism. Adrenocorticotropic hormone, it helps in secretion of glucocorticoids. What these glucocorticoids will do? They help in carbohydrate metabolism. So what are secreted by glucocorticoids are produced by which hormone? They'll ask. Important neat question. You should say that it is secreted by adrenocorticotropic hormone, glucocorticoids. Next, LH, FSH we have dealt here. In LH, in males, they play an important role in secretion of androgens. These androgens will play a very important role in voice. Males will have low pitch voice. These androgens will play an important role. When it comes to females, they will induce ovulation in females. LH will induce ovulation. When it comes to FSH in males, it will leads to spermatogenesis. When it comes in females, they help in growth and development of ovarian follicles. Which hormone play an important role in growth and development of ovarian follicles is FSH. That is, in females they'll do. Whereas in males it helps in spermatogenesis. So this is about pars distalis we have discussed till now. All these hormones will come under pars distalis. Next hormone which is mainly important is pars intermedia. Pars intermedia will secrete a hormone we already know, that is nothing but MSH. Pars intermedia will secrete a hormone called as MSH, that is melanocyte stimulating hormone. By name only we can understand melanocyte stimulating hormone means it helps in secretion of melanocytes. What these melanocytes will play? These will play an important role in pigmentation of the skin, because it will differentiate between dark skinned individuals as well as white skinned individuals. How they will differentiate is by melanocyte stimulating hormone. They help in secretion of melanocytes, and these melanocytes will play a very important role in differentiation, that is pigmentation of the skin. Pigmentation mainly. So this is only one hormone is by pars intermedia. The last part is pars nervosa. This pars nervosa, it is secreted by neurohypophysis. These two are secreted by adenohypophysis. This is by neurohypophysis. Okay. These neurohypophysis help in pars nervosa secretion. This pars nervosa will secrete another two hormones, that is called as oxytocin as well as vasopressin. Oxytocin, now what is the function of oxytocin? It helps in contraction of smooth muscles, that is during uterine contractions. When the mother is pregnant, then this hormone will help in contraction of the uterus for the delivery of the baby. This will play an important role in contraction of uterus. They help, first they will act on smooth muscles, then next they will help in contraction of the uterus. When it comes to vasopressin, what it will do mainly? Vasopressin, it will help, it is also called as antidiuretic hormone. We have discussed in excretory system, right, about vasopressin. What will vasopressin do? It will play an important role in reabsorption of water, reabsorption of sodium and water in distal convoluted tubule, that is DCT. It will play an important role in reabsorption of sodium as well as water. Reabsorption of sodium. Vasopressin is also known as antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH. ADH, what it will do? It will prevent diuresis, antidiuretic hormone. It will prevent diuresis. By name only we can understand. How it will help? It will act on distal convoluted tubules and it help in reabsorption of sodium as well as water. So like this, vasopressin also play a very important role. So this is about the main two hormones which are secreted by pars nervosa, that is neurohypophysis. First thing what we have discussed is, in pars intermedia, it will secrete a hormone known as melanocyte stimulating hormone. It helps in secretion of melanocytes. What will melanocytes do? They help in differentiation, that is pigmentation of the body, between dark skinned individuals as well as white skinned individuals. When it comes to neurohypophysis, pars nervosa, it helps in secretion of main two hormones called as oxytocin as well as vasopressin. This oxytocin, what it will do mainly? It helps in contraction of the uterus. Prolactin, what it will do? It helps in secretion of milk from the mammary glands. Whereas oxytocin, it will help in contraction of the uterus during the pregnancy time for the delivery of the baby. It will act on smooth muscles of the bladder. Oxytocin hormone mainly. Important NEET question they'll ask, because in oxytocin what it will do? What is the importance of oxytocin? Important question. Next, vasopressin. Vasopressin is also known as antidiuretic hormone. By name only we can say. It will help in reabsorption of sodium and water, as it will act on distal convoluted tubules. So these two play a very important role. Oxytocin, vasopressin under pars nervosa. Pars intermedia, only one hormone, that is melanocyte stimulating hormone. Whereas for the pars distalis, it is growth hormone, prolactin, TSH, ACTH, FSH, LH, all ending with HH. Mostly here MSH only, it is coming under intermediate. So simply like that you can remember, this is mainly about the pituitary gland. Next we are going to deal about the main gland, which is called as adrenal gland. Next we are going to see about adrenal gland. What is the use of the adrenal gland? Adrenal gland, it plays a very important role. It helps in secretion of main hormones. It is mainly present in the, suppose this is kidney, okay? It is present on anterior part of the kidney. Adrenal gland is present on anterior part of the kidney. Anterior part of kidney, it is mainly present, adrenal gland. Important NEET question why they will ask is, adrenal gland is present because only this gland is present in an organ that is called as mainly in the kidneys. Because kidneys, they'll ask more questions. They'll ask about where is adrenal gland present. Adrenal gland is present on the anterior side of the kidney. It helps in secretion of mainly, it has, this adrenal gland is divided into first outer cortex as well as inner medulla. Suppose this is adrenal gland, outside it has adrenal cortex as well as inner side it has medulla. This is called as adrenal cortex and this is called as adrenal medulla. So what this adrenal cortex will do? Adrenal cortex, again it has three layers, that is zona glomerulosa, reticularis, fasciculata. Zona glomerulosa. Next reticularis. Next fasciculata, zona fasciculata. Zona glomerulosa is the outer layer. It is the outermost layer is zona glomerulosa. Middle layer is reticularis, middle. Whereas inner layer is zona fasciculata. Fasciculata. Zona glomerulosa, reticularis as well as fasciculata. Zona glomerulosa is the outermost layer, reticularis is middle layer, inner is fasciculata. So these layers, mainly they will secrete glucocorticoids. We have already discussed. ACTH, that is adrenocorticotropic hormone, will release this. These layers also mainly will release the cortisol first, that is through glucocorticoids. First, these three layers will secrete glucocorticoids as well as mineralocorticoids. Glucocorticoids as well as mineralocorticoids. What these glucocorticoids will do, I already discussed. Glucocorticoids play an important role in carbohydrate metabolism. They play an important role in carbohydrate metabolism as well as RBC's production also. Red blood cells also, they help in RBC's production also these. So glucocorticoids will play a very important role. When it comes to mineralocorticoids, what this will do? Mineralocorticoids mainly, these also will help in what it will do, mineralocorticoids. They help in regulation of balance of water. Balance of water is needed for our body. That is by mineralocorticoids. Glucocorticoids, carbohydrate metabolism as well as RBC's production. Glucocorticoids secrete a hormone called as cortisol. They secrete cortisol. This cortisol will play a very important role, whereas mineralocorticoids, they secrete a hormone known as aldosterone. Aldosterone. So what this aldosterone will do is, it will act on the kidneys as well as it helps in reabsorption of water. This mineralocorticoids, they will secrete a main hormone called as aldosterone. This aldosterone play a very important role in kidney function. So this is about glucocorticoids as well as mineralocorticoids. And if there is deficiency of these hormones, mainly if there is deficiency of these hormones, then it leads to a disease that is called as mainly Addison's disease. Important NEET question. It will lead to a disease called as Addison's disease. They'll ask you like adrenal cortex, underproduction of adrenal cortex hormones or adrenal medullary hormones lead to Addison's disease. The answer is underproduction of hormones of adrenal cortex. They lead to Addison's disease. That is, these glucocorticoids as well as mineralocorticoids, their deficiency will lead to Addison's disease. Okay, whereas this adrenal medulla, now about cortex it is done. Next we will go about adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla will secrete hormones that are mainly called as catecholamines. Catecholamines means what mainly? That is epinephrine as well as adrenaline. We call it epinephrine or adrenaline, and norepinephrine or noradrenaline. That is epinephrine or norepinephrine. Next is or adrenaline or noradrenaline. Mainly epinephrine or norepinephrine or adrenaline or non-adrenaline. These all are mainly catecholamines. They help in fight and flight responses of the body. That is, suppose if you go and see some horror movie, then these hormones will be activated for you because you will get so much tensed. What will happen? You will sweat as well as, or if you see any dangerous situation or something, what will happen? You will sweat a lot. There will be piloerection of hairs. Your heartbeat will increase. Your respiratory rate will increase. Everything will increase due to these hormones only, which are secreted by adrenal medulla, that is present in adrenal gland. This adrenal gland is in turn present in the kidney, that is anterior most part of the kidney it is present. So these will secrete catecholamines. They play a very important role in mainly these catecholamines in fight as well as flight responses of the body. Fight and flight responses of the body. Fight and flight responses of the body means what? That is, this is done by sympathetic system. These hormones will go and act on sympathetic system. There are two types of systems. That is sympathetic system as well as parasympathetic system. This sympathetic system is activated when you do when you watch horror movies or when you go outside and do some work. These all hormones are activated mainly. When it comes to this is about catecholamines. When it comes to rest and digest activities, that when you are in happy mood and all, then it is rest and digest activities. These are parasympathetic hormones. These are not secreted by adrenal medulla, only they help in rest and digest activities. Whereas these catecholamines will help in fight as well as flight responses of the body. So this is about the main glands which are associated. First we have dealt about the pituitary gland. Next we have dealt about the gland which is called as adrenal gland. First, initially in the adrenal gland, where it is present, adrenal gland. Adrenal gland is present in the anterior part of the kidney mainly. This adrenal gland is again divided into outermost adrenal cortex, innermost, that is adrenal medulla is innermost one, outer layer is cortex, okay. This is cortex, inner one is medulla. Adrenal cortex is again divided into zona glomerulosa, reticularis as well as fasciculata. Glomerulosa means which layer? It is the outermost layer, zona glomerulosa. This you can remember like GRF, like glomerular filtration rate that we will get in kidneys. But for you, for easy remembrance, I am saying this. GRF you remember because they'll ask mostly in NEET. What are the hormones that are mainly associated? That is from outer side you should remember. That is glomerulosa, reticularis as well as fasciculata. Outermost is glomerulosa, reticularis, fasciculata. So they'll ask like this. These three layers in the adrenal cortex mainly they'll secrete glucocorticoids as well as mineralocorticoids as well as some other are also secreted. They help in growth of facial hair as well as those all. Those all are related to simply cortisol. That is, they help in secretion of numerous substances. That is, suppose in glucocorticoids as well as mineralocorticoids, what are the main things which are associated? When it comes to glucocorticoids mainly, they help in secretion of carbohydrates as well as they help in play an important role in RBC's production, that is red blood cell production. Glucocorticoids will play a very important role as well as they play an important role in carbohydrate metabolism of the body. When it comes to mineralocorticoids, they help in absorption of water, reabsorption of water. We already know there are two hormones which play an important role in reabsorption of water. The main hormones are adrenocorticotropic ADH, that is antidiuretic hormone, as well as aldosterone. What is that antidiuretic hormone? That antidiuretic hormone that is secreted by pituitary gland, where it is present in neurohypophysis. Just now we have discussed about that. They help in reabsorption of water. Aldosterone also same one. It also help in reabsorption of water. It will act on DCT, that is distal convoluted tubule. Here also it help in reabsorption of water. It also prevent diuresis. But this aldosterone is secreted by mineralocorticoids, whereas ADH is secreted by pituitary gland. This is secreted by mainly adrenal gland. And next we will deal with if there is underproduction of hormones. These glucocorticoids mainly secrete the hormone which is called as cortisol, as well as Addison's disease. If what is Addison's disease? Underproduction means very less amount of production of cortical hormones, that is adrenal cortex hormones. If they are very minimally produced, then it leads to weakness as well as fatigue. It leads to the person will become very weak as well as it will lead to fatigue of the individual. This is due to mainly Addison's disease, due to underproduction of cortical hormones. Next we see about adrenal medullary hormones. Adrenal medulla mainly secretes hormones called as catecholamines. What these catecholamines will do? These catecholamines mainly they secrete epinephrine, norepinephrine, or adrenaline as or noradrenaline. See, epinephrine, norepinephrine, adrenaline or noradrenaline. Means what are these hormones will do? These will increase the fight and flight responses of the body. That is, when you go out and see any movies, when you are sweating, these will lead to sweating as well as piloerection of hairs. So much will happen. It will increase the heart rate, respiratory rate. These hormones will mainly act on sympathetic system. Sympathetic system means they help in fight and flight responses of the body. It will not act on parasympathetic. Parasympathetic means what? It will act on rest and digest activities. It will not act on that. It will mainly act on fight and flight responses of the body. So this is till now we have done about pituitary gland as well as adrenal gland. Next other gland which we are going to deal is pineal gland. Pineal gland. So this pineal gland, what it will do? Mainly the pineal gland, it is present, where it is present? It is present on dorsal side of the forebrain. It is present on dorsal side of forebrain. It is present on dorsal side of the forebrain. Means where is on the forebrain only it is present. What it will do? What is the main action of the pineal gland? Pineal gland help in secretion of melatonin. Before, what we have dealt in pituitary gland is that is about melanocyte stimulating hormone. That is different. It will help in mainly pigmentation. Melanocyte stimulating hormone is different, whereas melatonin is different. Melatonin will play an important role in sleep-wake cycle of the body. That is 24 hours sleep-wake cycle. It will play an important role in 24-hour sleep-wake cycle of the body, as well as it play an important role in menstrual cycle in females. As well as it play an important role. This will also differentiate between dark individuals as well as lighter individuals. So pigmentation, it will also play. But here very minimal action it will do on pigmentation. Here the melatonin's main function is nothing but 24-hour sleep-wake cycle. 24-hour sleep-wake cycle means what? You will get up in the morning and you will sleep in the night. Between these two there should be some present, that is 24-hour clock should be present. As well as between when you go to US also there will be jet lag for you. That is all by melatonin, that is which is secreted by dorsal side of the forebrain, which is secreted by pineal gland. Pineal gland help in secretion of melatonin, which is present on dorsal side of the forebrain. It help in differentiating between the night as well as morning. It will helps to differentiate. That is 24-hour clock. It will differentiate between 24-hour clock. It mainly secretes melatonin. It help in 24-hour sleep-wake cycle of the body. It play an important role in menstrual cycles. In females it plays a very important role, as well as it play an important role in pigmentation of the body, mainly pigmentation. So this is about the pineal gland. So mainly important question which they will ask is, first they will ask related to the pineal gland. Till now what we have discussed about the pituitary gland. In pituitary gland as well as adrenal gland, mainly they will ask about Addison's disease, they will ask. Next, glucocorticoids as well as mineralocorticoids. These all are secreted from which substances, like what or what they will secrete. glucocorticoids as well as mineralocorticoids, they are secreted by adrenal cortex, not adrenal medulla. They are secreted by outermost layer that is called as adrenal cortex. So it will help in secretion of cortisol and all. And underproduction of these hormones will lead to Addison's disease. Mainly they will concentrate NEAT people on that. Adrenal medulla, simply you can remember fight and flight responses. That is, they secrete catecholamines. That is about there they will ask only 2-3 questions in adrenal gland. Whereas in pineal gland, mainly they will ask about which hormone is secreted by pineal gland. They will give you options. Then you should say it is by melatonin. That is, it helping 24-hour sleep-wake cycle of the body. So mainly pineal gland plays a very important role. When it comes to the first gland, that is pituitary gland, the important questions which they ask is pars nervosa will secrete what hormones? Pars nervosa will secrete 2 hormones, that is oxytocin as well as vasopressin. That is in turn secreted by neurohypophysis. Oxytocin will play an important role in contractions of the uterus, whereas that is by oxytocin. Vasopressin, it is also known as ADH. It will play like that. Next, melanocyte stimulating hormone. Same like melatonin only. It helps in pigmentation. It is secreted by pars intermedia. That is by adenohypophysis. Next, the first one is pars distalis. By names only we can understand. Growth hormone, by giantism, dwarfism. Next, thyroid hormones, hypothyroidism, hypothyroidism. Prolactin you should remember. Along with oxytocin you remember. Prolactin help in ejection of milk from the mammary glands. Then next comes the main thing is ACTH, that is adrenocorticotropic hormone. It helps in secretion of glucocorticoids mainly. They play an important role in carbohydrate metabolism. And the last 2 which are important are LH and FSH. That is mainly in males and females you should be able to differentiate. That is in males mainly what it will happen, LH will play a very important role in secretion of androgens. Whereas in females they induce ovulation. When it comes to FSH in males FSH play a very important role in spermatogenesis, whereas in females they play a very important role in what it will do is development of ovarian follicles. It will play an important role in development of ovarian follicles. So these are the few glands which we discussed. In the next session we will discuss about rest of the glands and there are also glands like heart, kidney also will secrete hormones. We will discuss about that in the next session.